So here we go. Okay. So this is our loading Mondays. Monday we load because a lot of times on the weekends we just kind of like don't do a lot. Maybe sometimes you do, but most of the time we don't do very much, which is okay. But we are going to load the bones today, okay? So I'm going to put my little pole right here, see? And I'm going to do what's called equipment manipulating. So I'm going to work with this. Some of you have done stuff with poles and, you know, baton twirling used to be a big deal. But of course, a lot of that has gone by the wayside, right? So here we go. I'm going to really, let me adjust this just a little. Get this going like this and then go this way. See, I'm spinning it. So I'm just kind of ambulating forward and I'm turning my pole. And some of you might not think that's a very big warm-up move, but in fact, when you have elbow issues, shoulder issues, see this move right here? This is like huge for people with elbow problems, wrist problems, even shoulder issues. So now I'm going to go this way with it. See how I just lifted this up like that? So I'm going to go this way, and as I turn it, I'm going to keep my shoulders down. So when I go like this, keep your shoulder down. You bring your elbow up a little, and then you grab it and go around. So I hope I'm making this clear to you. Those of you with shoulder and elbow issues, keep your shoulders down. You're turning the pole. You bring your elbow up about right here. Then you grab it, and you do this several times, okay, as you're ambulating or walking, okay. Nice to see you guys. I see everybody coming on. Now see, I went to the other arm. So whichever side is your problem or you're going to look at it as a challenge, not a problem. It's just a challenge that you're going to overcome. So here I'm going to go this way. See this? If I get my shoulder down, then I can bring this elbow up a little more. Grab and go back around. See that? So in fact, if you have a pole, just a simple pole, it's not heavy, but this move right here is where you start to see if you're getting normal functional range for your shoulder. And then we just repeated this. So this is our warm up. I'm going to go to the other side now. So here I am straight on, drop my shoulders, and you see how I'm going to bring this elbow right to here, and then I'm going to grab and I'm going to do it again. See the elbow? Yeah, take a breath, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders. Yeah, and move back and forth, back and forth. So we're recording this, okay? And so I'm going to do this elongated. We started our warm-up later, but I'm going to have this part on because we're going to get ready to do loading, okay? So here's the thing. You don't want to ever put weight in your hand and bring your elbow up like this. That is not something you want to do. But in order to warm up, and see I'm switching from side to side, and I'm bringing the elbow up here. But if my elbow comes up here, what am I supposed to do with my shoulder? Drop it down, pull my tummy in, drop my chin in. It's all part of lining up, especially if you happen to have shoulder issues, shoulder challenges, okay? So now that I've done that, I'm going to go straight out and then come straight back and walk back. Then I'm going to go straight out and walk back. Now I can walk forward, but I'm going to just come with one leg, pull it back. One leg, pull it back. Step, push, bring it back. Step, push, bring it back. Step, push, bring it back. 2 more. Here we go. Drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders. Yeah, I switched again, breath, and bring it back. Now those hands go down, and I step wide, and I rock and roll from side to side, okay? Here's the most important thing to know about this little move. See how the hip hinges is? See, I'm hip hinging, and I'm keeping my back very extended as I do this pendulum swing. The thing about this one is I'm actually asking the back part and the central part of my shoulder to do a tiny lift. That's different than a pendulum, okay? A pendulum, you don't ask your muscles in your shoulders to lift. This one, I'm asking them to lift a tiny bit right at the end. See that right there? I'm hip hinged. This is very extended. So the tummy's tight, shoulders are down. When I come to this point, I actually ask the back part of my shoulder and my deltoid to lift. So that's what I want you to understand about this one, because this one's prepping us to get into our weight training part of the program today. So again, I'm hesitating. I'm doing a hip hinge. I'm leaning in from the hip. My arm is straight. And the last couple inches of this, I ask the back part, which would be the posterior deltoid and the middle part of the deltoid. I'm asking you to lift with that, just a little, okay? Then check in with yourself and see if that's giving you a problem so that you'll know, in fact, what kind of weights to pick up here in just a second. So I'm hip hinged, I'm extended, my tummy is super tight right here. My knees are soft, As I rock onto one leg, then the other. Okay, now I'm asking you to let go of that foot. Okay, so when you do that little lift, leaned out, now I'm asking you to lift that straight leg right up, and you're going to lead from the ankle. You're leading from the ankle, leading. Every time you release your foot on either side, you're leading from the ankle. Big breath, 2 more. We're almost there. Hope everybody's doing all right. Then you didn't get flooded away. I'm doing okay here. I didn't get flooded. Take a big deep breath. Yes. Now I'm going to do my first fold, okay? And I want you to remember some of these warm-up moves. We're at the end of our warm-up. So what is a fold? See, if you were just going to put something down, you just kind of go like that, and then you get it up. No. We're going to do a fold. So that means shoulder width. Push your butt back. You're going to come down. You're going to take your pole. You're going to actually fold down and put it on the floor. Now get your butt just a little bit lower. Just a little bit lower. Just a little bit lower. Then pick up that pole. Push into the heels and stand up. That was a fold. Okay, let's do it again. So I might put on this descriptor, shoulder warm up into a full body fold, okay, to prep us for some lifts that we're going to do here in just a minute. So here I go. See, here's my pole. I'm going to push my butt back. I know I'm going to push into my heels. I'm going to come down. I'm going to drop my butt as low as I possibly can. I'm going to put my pole down. I'm down in a fold, a full fold. Get your rear end down just a little bit more. Then when you're ready to come up, you shift into the heels and you come up and you squeeze. So you really innervate, okay, these gluteal muscles. We're going to do one more. Fold. So here we go. Shoulder width. Push your butt back. Drop your chin. Drop your rear end. A little lower, a little lower, a little lower. Just a tiny bit lower. And then push into the heels and come up. Now squeeze right there. So coming right off of that squeeze, here's your pole. Pretend you've got weights here. You're going to come and you're going to do a lift. And you're going to do a lift. So right off the fold where these are really contracting, you're going to hip hinge forward and you're going to go a lift and you're going to do a lift. Okay? So with this kind of a move, straight off of a fold, you want to drop your chin and you're holding your weights. I've got a pole right now, but I'm going to have weights here in just a second. Okay? This is where I'm telling you I'm fixing to do a move. That means I'm thinking about it. Okie dokie. Take a breath. Yes. Just like that. Now, as you do these heel lifts, I'm going to take the time right now. Hi, everybody, come on. To point out that when you do this heel lift, I'm calling it a heel lift for a reason. Many of you, when you go to hip hinge forward, number one, you're junking your chin out. So pull your chin in. When you hip hinge and you're ready to lift with that leg, you in fact turn your toe and you're not leading with your heel, or if you are, you're turned, you're almost leading with your ankle up because you turn your hip. This is so important for somebody with hip issues, especially if you have hip replaced. Those of you with hips replaced, when you do this move, and I'm taking the time to do this right now because we're going to be doing this with quite a bit of weight here in just a second, okay? In other words, I'm fixing to lift weights. Those of you who really have wonky hips, your knee is not certain, whatever, you put your pole down, you put your hands here, and when you get ready to lift, you keep that toe down. You really lift from the heel, and as you come up, you stand up. Then you hip hinge and you lift, okay? And you come up. It's almost like one of those little puppet things, those little stick things that, you know, do like this, like a chicken bobbing back and forth. Now, shift your weight and go to the other leg. So I can tell you if you have both hips replaced or if you have issues with hips, knees, whatever, use a wall, use a bed, use a counter, use a chair that's not going to move on you. Lean in and lift. And I'm going to show you how to do this with one hand versus the other hand in just a second. Because in fact, you're going to be using weights in your hands, especially as it pertains to those muscles that I highlighted in the warm-up. Okay, so here I go. Here I go. So the other last thing I got to tell you is do not lock your leg. Keep your toe headed down. Do not lock your supporting leg. Keep that knee soft. Keep your chin tucked. And you're doing this whole body move that in fact is turning these muscles on so that when you're walking around, you're not just kind of doing like this because you're trying to avoid whatever little pain that you're feeling, which I understand that. But many of us, when we're walking around like this, we really have not turned these gluteals on. We're not using them functionally. So, okay, so I went over all of that we're going to do. We're going to pick up some weights now because I think you're warmed up. So I'm going to put my little pole down and I'm going to grab a pretty good weight. So I'm going to grab, to start with, a 12-pound weight. So By that, you should know that that means I want at least a medium heavy weight, okay? So I'm at the higher end of medium for me. So here I am. I picked up those weights, remember? All right. Take a big deep breath, and remember the fold. I told you we were going to do it with weights. Yeah. Well, here we are, ready to do it with weights. So I'm going to take these just like this. I'm going to go up with my shoulders so I can feel that weight in through my shoulders, all the way down through my spine. Okay. Now I'm going to drop my shoulders, and I'm going to do my first fold. So here I go. I'm going to push my butt back. I'm going to come down. I'm going to put those weights right there. Now you can either place them down and let go, or you can maintain by doing this kind of a work. See how I just brought them right to here, and I brought my butt down just a little more. Then I put them straight down, push into my heels, and right here, what are you supposed to do? Everybody should be yelling at the screen. Squeeze your butt. Yes, you're going to notice that if you picked up pretty heavy weights, you're going to start, even though we're doing very slow moving, you are contracting the biggest muscles in your body in order to handle this weight. So stick with me, y'all. Here we go. Push into the heels, drop your shoulders, drop your chin, come down, either put the weights down or bring them right here, drop further into your heels, drop your butt just a little more, then come to the side, push into the heels, squeeze right now, squeeze your rear end. Here we go, breath, push, heels, either bring them up here and hang out down there just for a second or two or three or four. Push your heels, push into your heels, and here we are. Squeeze your butt. Take a breath, drop your chin, drop your shoulders, soften your knees, push back. You're doing a full fold. So you can put the weights down, or you can bring them into a curl here like I am, but push your heels and push your butt down, hold, and then come back up. Squeeze. I'm going to do two more. Stay with me. Drop your shoulders. Take a big breath. Push. Here we go. Either put the weights down again, or and just do it with no weights, or curl and hold. Drop your butt just one more inch. Push into the heels. Squeeze. Take a big breath. That takes a lot of air. You're going to notice you're breathing heavier. And you're thinking, wow, I'm short of breath, or we're not doing aerobics. No, but we are building an oxygen debt just because we're hanging on to some heavy weights. So I've got 12 and a 12. That's 24 pounds in this. So I'm doing a full body fold. So I'm employing all those huge muscles, the gluteals, the quads, the legs, all the way down. My shoulders are stabilizing. And here I come back up. Squeeze your butt. Yes. Take a big deep breath. Big deep breath. We're going to come straight off of that into our leg extension. Now, if you're somebody that needs to stabilize and hold on to a wall, then I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to put a weight right there in the chair, or put it down. I'm going to put my hand right here. I'm going to go forward from my hip, and I'm going to pull that leg up just like that. Keep my chin tucked, and I'm stabilizing through my shoulders, and I'm going to come right back. See how I'm just going to go back and forth? Keep your chin tucked. Come back. Because this is a medium heavy weight, I want symmetry here. So when I go into this move, I'm going to keep my back from turning. and dropping into that heavy load. So in fact, I'm going to make this side work even harder because I'm trying to stabilize and I'm trying to keep my shoulders and my hip equal across the line, across this hip to this hip, this shoulder to this shoulder. So I'm going to go down, my knee is soft. So if I were with you right now, where would I be? I would be standing behind you, watching your leg pathway, the trajectory of your leg. And in fact, if you're dipping, then I'll try to help you see that you need to straighten to stay straight on. Your knee is soft. I'm going to do 2 more here. Take a breath. And take a breath. Push. And see, I'm stabilizing with one hand because I'm trying to show you how important it is to stay a level and to use your leg correctly. Don't turn that toe out. Don't start going fast. Now I put it on my other hand, okay? I put my hand right here because when I go down, this knee is soft. My back is very extended. My shoulders are down. I'm using my hand here, bend my knee, and I, in fact, want to bring my heel to lead this. See that? Some of you lead with your ankle because, in fact, you turned your foot out. So we tend to want to use our stronger, bigger muscles. But then we ignore all those little guys that are big players, actually, in our motion. Okay, big breath. Keep your knee supporting this move bent, a little bit bent. It's soft. The heel is leading, and do not bend your leg that you're lifting. It is straight on because, in fact, I want you to innervate or contract your gluteal. Try not to overlean. You're using your hand so that you can help use those weaker muscles around the hip and actually into your lower back. To tell you the truth, it goes that far. Okay? Keep level. Some of you are dropping. Take a breath. Okay. If you're feeling this in a contraction over here on this side, that's a good thing. That means it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. So stay level. And in order to level that side, all this side over here, without the weight, has to work to stay level. Take a big breath. Just 2 more. Keep your knee soft. Breath. Keep your toe down. I know it. Take a breath. Did I say 2? Was that 2? Well, let's just do 1 more. How do you like that? Okay, so I did that whole thing modified. So instead of using 2 weights here, okay, I used the 1. All right? So if you can do it with 2 and you don't need to stabilize, that's fine and dandy. But many of us need to, okay? So now I have a medium heavy weight. So I've done I've done a full fold, all the way full fold. We did a little exercise to start our session today with our hands with the pole. And it involved bending, in fact, that elbow. So we have a heavy weight now, right? So we warmed up that whole muscular connection with this kind of a move. See how I'm not lifting through my elbow, but that move helped warm us up. So here I go. I'm going to do a high hip hinge. I have a medium heavy weight. It's pulling. Then I'm going to come up, squeeze my rear end, move my shoulders to the sides here so that the weights are right at the sides of my pant seam. See that? So here I go. High hip hinge, push into the hips, come down just a little, Now this is where the work happens. I want to push into my heels, but in fact, I'm going to lift right here, squeeze and take my shoulders to the back. See that? I mean, to the side. I'm sorry. So I'm going to come forward, which involves all that deltoid and shoulder girdle. I'm going to push down. This is high hip hinge. Keep my chin tucked. I'm going to come up, squeeze, pull my shoulders back. I'm going to go one more time, and then I'm going to change this, okay? Here we go. Pull, squeeze, and to the side. See that? Okay, now I'm going to do that high hip hinge, and I'm in fact going to bend my elbow here. So I'm going to come right here. I'm pushing into the heels. I'm going to go push and bring it back. I'm going to go push and bring it back. Okay? So this is a version of what is called the flies. Okay? They call them, and it works the deltoid, it works the shoulder, it works all your upper back muscle. But by doing it this way, I'm making my back do some excellent loading work in a bent position from the hips. I can't emphasize that enough. So I'm going to go pull, pull. I'm staying into this little trajectory. Pull, pull, pull. Get those elbows in. Keep them in tight. Breath, breath, breath. Just 3 more. Go, go, go. Put those weights down in a fold. Fold. Place them down. And then come back up. Shake your hands out. Yeah, shake your hands out. Shake your hands out. Tight tummy. Drop your shoulders. Do a big hug. Just like that. Big breath. Little turns. So why would I want to do a turn? Because in the last 3 or so moves, I've asked you to really load one side versus the other side, then both right here. So this move that we do coming up out of the fold, especially when you've got a pretty heavy weight, wow, does that make your back extensors have to really get on board. And it's very easy to do the fold with a rounded back. So avoid that at all costs, whether you have to limit how far you go down or whatever, okay? So now I'm taking you slowly to some more loading into a typical fly, okay? So when we go back with our elbows like that, with the weight, okay? I don't want you with these heavy weights. We're going to do it with lighter weights, but not right now. These are heavy, okay? 12 and 12, so medium heavy for me. So you get whatever's medium heavy. You come here. You're going to come with the elbows, right? And a regular fly is out like this. Boom. So we're not going to do that with these heavy weights. We're going to do it with very light weights in just a little bit. But right now, I'm trying to focus right here and right here and right here, okay? All while I'm trying to keep your back safe, okay? So here we go. I'm going to come down. I'm going to grab those weights again, okay? I'm going to come right here in a bent over position. Take a breath. Push into all 4 corners. Bring those weights up and just straighten them back. So we're going to go down, pull, push back, okay? Go down a little, not a lot. We're staying in a hip hinge position. Woo! Breath. Here we go. Pull, push. Bring them in, heels. Keep your chin tucked. Breath. All this is helping to get your whole spine, all your vertebrae, your shoulders, working at an appreciable load to give good bone density without hurting those joints. See, I'm not lifting, I'm stabilizing through the shoulders. Breath, don't round your back. You're going down just a little, in a little tiny hip hinge. Breath, push. Breath, just two more. Push. Breath, one more. Push, hold. Bring it back and come up right here. Shoulder squeeze. Shoulder, squeeze it up to your ears. Tight tummy. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Go. Breath. Go. Breath. Go. Breath. Go. And put them down right there in front of you. Okay? Big breath. And now we do that pendulum. Okay? So I'm not asking you to lift. I'm asking you to just let those arms off, just kind of hang back and forth there. Don't really lift. Okay? After you've done this a couple times, push into the heels. Keep your knees soft and come up. Yay. Okay. Now we're going to use our back arm muscles quite a bit today. So we're going to do a bicep curl first before we change our weights. So with these medium heavy weights, we're going to do bicep curls. We're going to do together, and then we're going to do one and then the other. Okay? So depending on how your hands are, I always have my weight gloves on. It supports your joints in your hands. It supports your wrist. Okay. So I'm going to go right from here, from my quads. See that? I'm going to push into the heels. Okay. We're going to go like this. We're going to do hammer, hammer. And when you're doing hammers, you don't want to, if you can help it, you don't want to put the weight on your leg to rest unless you need to. But what you do want to do is keep your wrist from curling. The wrist needs to stay neutral. Breath. Okay, so anytime you've had wrist issues, hands issues, I don't care what from, injury, arthritis, whatever, you still got to try to figure out how to use that hand, right? So forearm is a big part of it. Okay, I've done a hammer curl now for several repetitions. I'm thinking Kathy knows exactly how many, but I just want you to keep your elbows in and keep doing this little repetition. Do not use your quads to rest on unless you need to. Okay, now I'm going to turn. Now I'm going to rest them, straighten out. Now I'm going to turn them and I'm going to do a full curl. Not a hammer curl. Hammer curl is bringing your thumb to your shoulder. So drop your shoulders, turn your hand. We're going to do this together. It's going to go pull, squeeze, bring her back down. Yes. Take a breath. Drop your shoulders. Here we go. Pull. Now you have to use your abdominals. You have to use your back. You have to use your chest. You have to use your shoulders, your legs. So you have to use everything in order to do this curl correctly. Keep your elbows in to your waist. Boom. Breath. Go. Breath. Go. Breath. Go. Breath. Yes. Hang on. Hang in there with me. Don't jerk them. This is a solid pull squeeze. Keep your chin tucked. Breath. Just two more. Hang with me. One more. Oh, nice. Okay, now we're ready to go lighter. So I'm going to put my weights here. So see, when I put my weights down, I make sure, see, I can lean on my leg here, but I'm not rounding my back. That's the point. I am not rounding my back. Now I'm picking up light weights. Light weights for me. You have to pick up a light weight for you. Okay, now you could do this whole move sitting on a chair, and we'll do a few at the end to show you. However, the beauty of free weights is that you get to be the chair or the bench or whatever. And you get to reap the benefits of being the chair. What do I mean by that? See, I picked up light weights, but this is still 12 pounds, all right? Now we're going to do a regular fly. So I hope you picked up a light weight. So don't even attempt to do this unless you keep good position. So I'm a little wider than shoulder. I'm setting into my heels pretty much, but it comes to my toes too. I'm keeping my chin tucked. And when I come up, I'm going to keep my elbows in still, okay? There's a lot of you out there with big time shoulder issues. And if you go cranking this like this, that is not going to be good on your shoulder. However, I'm trying desperately to get you to use the muscles between your shoulders, in your back, the back part of your deltoid, which is the posterior deltoid. So I'm going to stay down as best as I can. I'm going to bring these out. I'm going to open at the elbow a little, and it's going to go like that. See that? Now stay with me. So I'm going to go pull, and whenever I do this lift, what I want you to think about is pulling your shoulder blades into your back. So if I were with just you, I would put my finger right in the middle of your shoulder blades on your spine, and I would say, squeeze this finger, pull. There's a joke there somewhere, but I won't go there. Pull, pull, stay down, keep your chin tucked, keep your elbows in, and open them just a little. Pull, breath, heels, breath, breath. Hang with me. 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Woo! You loved it, didn't you? Okay, we are not done with these light weights. Take a big deep breath. Bring the light weights right here. See? Remember before, what did we do with the hammer? We came from the quad and we came up to the front of the shoulder. Remember that? Now I want you to stand up. You still keep your knees soft, but you're going to bring these right here. And you're going to bring it up, and you're going to touch the shoulder. See that? So this uses your shoulder in a whole different way. Bringing it up. Here's the key. When I bring this up, and if you'll look over here, I do not flare my elbows. See that? So yeah, I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it right to my shoulder. So now I'm going from the waist up, not from the waist down, but I keep my elbows in. Boom. See that? I go one and the other, and this is light weights. So it's very doable, but you can still get sloppy on your curling, okay? So doing both. Boom. Breath. Breath. And you see, whenever I do this move, I do a modified, in fact, fold. See that? So that's how your body kind of in its full functional range of motion, you have to be able to fold. If you can't fold, you're going to have a real hard time getting around, okay? Take a breath. Just go to the waist. Here we go. Breath. Go to the waist. Keep your elbows in. Keep your elbows in. Breathe, 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 breathe. Elbows in. Only go to your waist. Some of you are going way too low. Breath. Just three more. Just three more. Breath. Keep your elbows in. Yes. Now keep those right there and just open your elbows. See that? I know I tricked you. You thought I was going to stop. See there? I just don't want you to be a slug today. That's all. Take a breath. Okay? Take a breath. See, I'm just resting them on my shoulders. And I'm taking my one leg and I'm just stepping forward, swinging it back. Stepping it forward, swinging it back. So even though these are light weights, I've got 12 pounds kind of resting here on my shoulders. See that? So it's all a very orchestrated thing. A, to try to have minimal whining, and B, to load you. Even if it's a light load, it's beneficial. That's what you have to hear. You don't have to kill yourself. I mean, you may feel like it, but in fact, the reality is we can get quite a good benefit from minimal work as well. This is called recovery. I want to be registered wherever Kathy is. This is rest. See that? Okay, take a breath. Tight tummy. Swing the other leg, front and back. See this? See my weights? They're gently resting on my shoulder. But here's what I'm trying to get you to do by having you keep your weights here like this. And I'm just softening my joint. And I'm stepping forward. Then I'm stepping back. So I'm putting gentle weight load all the way down my frame into my feet. This is very doable. Okay? So with the weights resting here, the biggest deal is not just rest. The biggest deal is getting you to open your elbows. Some of you are squeezing your elbows in here. No. Open them. Okay? Take a breath. See, it's just a step. Get those elbows opened. Elbows opened, elbows opened. Okay, step together. Shoulder width, not narrow, not narrow. Okay, get your elbows in line with the sides of your body. Don't be flaring your elbows. Then I'm going to go just to the top of my head, and then I'm going to come right here. Take a breath. When you come up, you're going to be threading the needle. See this? See, I'm just bringing my knee up, then I'm bringing it down. I'm bringing it up, I'm bringing it down. Bringing it up. As I bring my knee up, I'm doing all the shifting motion. I'm getting all my back, my shoulders, my hips, my knees, my feet into this shifting motion. Breath. Hang in, hang in, hang in. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath, and take a breath. And bring it down and bring it down. Now, if you're screaming at me and your shoulders are like, oh man, what did we just do? I would say, good, that's what I wanted. Oh, okay, back up to your chair. I'm going to come into a sit down, but I'm not going to just sit down, okay? I'm going to come into this sit down. I'm going to push my butt back. I'm going to put those weights on the ground, grab my chair, and come right down, okay? Now we're going to do this a little bit different today because, in fact, I'm trying to get you to load through your shoulders, especially back in the part of the shoulders that work with your back muscles, okay? So a lot of times we'll do this one, right? We come to the edge, and we're going to, just so you know, we're going to use these light weights in just a moment, after we get through with this one. And we're going to do our fly again, our second set of lightweight flies. And the next time we'll do it just a little differently. Okay, so open your hands. Some of you are still recovering from what we just did, especially if you have a shoulder issue. It will push you, those little moves that I just did with those light weights. And so you would say, well, what's light weights? And I would say, well, mine that I picked up for light is a 6 pound, okay? It's 6 pounds. That's light for me. So yours might be any kind of configuration there. So see, I'm just kind of opening and closing, do a big hug again. See, like that? Okay, now we've been doing a lot of work with our back extensors and our abdominals. So now we're going to turn. This is a little interset. I'm going to put my hands right here. And I'm going to push against this while I make myself turn, see, to look over the back of my chair. Here's the deal. When you put your hands right here, don't move your knees. They have to stay solid, okay? So hold your ground here, okay? Drop your shoulders, put your hand here. Now look and grab the back of your chair if you can. Don't lean. Keep yourself level. Turn. Sneak that hand over top of the kitchen chair or whatever chair you're on, okay? So we're really opening through all those muscles that we just sizzled, okay? We got them hot. Take a breath. Push out there. Your tummy's in. Your shoulders are down. I'm pushing against my leg with this arm, and I'm stretching this one. And I'm pulling my chin as far as I can to look at my fingers back here. Take a breath. Hold it for about 5 more seconds. Hang on. 5. Push. 3, 4. See, I can't count, Kathy. 5, 4, 3. Drop your shoulders. 2, 1. And bring it back. Take a big deep breath. Bring your shoulders up. Drop your shoulders down. Are you ready? I'm going to go this way. Don't move your feet, okay? I'm going to put my hand out over my chair. I'm going to try to stay as straight as possible. Push, pull, bring that hand over your chair as far as you can. And you're trying to look with your head and your chin over as far as you can. Open, 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 open. Tight tummy, ribcage up. Push. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come back, come back, come back, come back. Nice work. Okay. That was a little movement interset. So it's a very good thing to just, when you're lifting, you know, heavy and long, to just hold it for a bit. Now, when I walk through the clubs in years past, and I walk through and I see a bunch of guys, you know, really lifting a lot of weights and all that kind of stuff. And I walk through and I do whatever, and then I walk back through, and they're sitting on their chairs like this, and they're still sitting there whenever I walk back through. That's a little bit too much of a rest. Anyway, here we go. Light weights, correct? I'm using my chair, correct? I'm going to go from this move that we're going to do, innervating back here, to our second set of flies. But this is a lightweight, and for some of you, it should be no weight, or maybe a soup can that's just a few ounces, okay? So our goal is to load appreciably, move better, and not hurt our joints, okay? And so you have to help me with that. Okay, this time I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to just drop right here a little bit, but you have to stay ribcage up, hold yourself up there, okay? Your elbows are bent just a little, and you're going to come right here, all right? And you're just going to push and do a little lift. So it's going to be In, out, lift. Keep your elbows soft. So you're working your quad just a little differently. Here you're doing one single leg lift, but what is your supporting quad doing? Yeah, it's holding your whole body. In, out, lift. Don't take your shoulders to your ears. Keep them down. Breath. In, out, lift. In, out, lift. In, out, lift. Bring it down and slowly, carefully set yourself down in the chair. That should have got your attention. That little tiny move that I added. When you're managing your body weight up here, the tendency is to go like this. So I'm telling you, don't do that. Keep your shoulders down. Take a break if you need to. So now we're going to go to the other leg. So how do we get set up? How do we do this? Some of you out there are fun-sized. Kay comes to mind. Chrissy comes to mind. So you are not going to just go and straighten your arms and lift your hips up. That's not going to happen. All right. So you're going to see how I'm inching myself to the edge. So I'm doing this as if I were fun-sized with my arms and everything. And all you want to do is keep your elbows in, keep them a little soft, drop your butt down, and then get ready to shift. Now put your shoulders down, bring your leg up. You're going to go in, out, lift. See that? Drop your shoulders. In, out, lift. Drop your shoulders. In, out, lift. Drop your shoulders. In, out, lift. In, out, lift. Breath. In, out. Drop your shoulders. In, out, lift. Just a couple more. In, out, lift. In, out, and lift. Okay. Put your butt back on the chair. Shake your hands out. Oh, yeah, I know. I know. So, anytime we take a break, and let's say, God forbid, you don't have any electricity, and you can't get YouTube, and I'm not in class, and you can't pull up anything. Listen, if you find your little butt sitting on a chair, use that chair and do some of these that I just did, along with a chair push-up. Get to where you can do a couple of sets. I'm telling you, you're going to keep your muscles. You're going to keep your bones. All right? So I'm going to grab these. I'm going to do my last set of lightweight flying. Okay? So if you can open at the elbow, okay, and bring them up, you must keep your shoulders down. Your elbow has a little bend in it. Because in fact, to do this lift, it's not done through the arms. It's done with your back muscles, okay? A little bit of the posterior deltoid is coming into play, but it's mostly through the shoulder girdle, okay? So, are you ready? We're doing good. We have time to do more fun things. Okay. It's a hot one today, isn't it? Aren't you glad you're doing this in air conditioning? Wow. Okay. Hip hinge. Grab my weights. Okay. Bring your arms up. Now open just a little bit. Now when you open to pull them back, your shoulder blades are going in. So drop those shoulders just a little bit. Okay. So we're going to go out. We're not doing this fast. We're going to go out. We're keeping our shoulders down. We're saying rib cage up. Keeping our shoulders really good and safe. They're stabilizing. They're helping a little bit in this lift. But it's those shoulder girdle or back muscles that are pulling this in. Pull. Breath. Breath. Keep your rib cage up. Keep your chin tucked. Go. Just 3 more. Breath. Duh. Go. And put those weights down. Shake out, shake out, shake out. Now, from the sit down, and we're going to stand up now just to get our blood flowing here. So I'm going to come right here. I'm going to put my hands in front. Okay. I'm going to act like somebody's pulling me up. But in fact, you're pulling your own self up, right? Because what are you doing? You're innervating and contracting through here, through the core, through here. Okay. So drop your shoulders, keep your elbows soft, push into the heels really hard, come up and open. Take a breath. We're going to go down and up now 6 times. Stay with me. We don't have any weight. I'm going to come right here. Then I'm going to go into the heels and I'm going to come right here. Take a breath. Heels. Land. Breath. Heels. Land. Breath. Keep your shoulders down. Breath. And breath. And breath. Okay, one more. And breath. And bring it right here. Turn. Turn. See that little pendulum turning? So you want to turn, take a breath. You want to look behind you. Look behind you. Look behind you. Look behind you. Breath. 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 Okay. Have a sit down. We still have light weights this morning. Okay. Some of you have used bands before. Bands are great. Not everybody has them. They can get a little tangly. They do wear out. These weights, just so you know, these are called Provel. Even Provel are not these weights anymore. I got these before they sold it to a third party. I think you know where. Anyway, they're much more, they're more cheaply made now, the ones that you purchase out there. These have the metal components in the inside of the turning mechanism, so that's why these are a very good thing to help you in your weights, in your lifting, if you want to have channel locking weights. So here's what we're going to do. Our last move is this one. We're going to get our weights, okay? And a lot of people have hurt their arms, their shoulders with this move, okay? And you might say, well, why is she doing it? Because I'm going to try to tell you how to do it right, okay? Do it with no hands first. Your hands are on your knees. We're using our chair so that we can't go anywhere here, okay? So sit on your sit bones, rib cage up, right? Open your hip just a little. Drop your shoulders again. Soften your elbow. And you come right here. See? See this move? This move can be very problematic to people with shoulder issues. If you cannot do this move correctly with weights, do not use weights yet. Get the move so that you don't have pain. And if you'll notice, my wrist, my elbow, and my shoulder end all on the same line. See that? Here's the thing. A lot of people do this move and they use momentum. They're not using their muscle, okay? See, if I lean back, I employ a lot of stomach and I use my chest correctly, and then my elbows are soft. They're at my knee. And when I come up, see, it's a whole shoulder move. See that? This is very important. Okay, that said, you're going to come up. You're going to come up like that. See that? Then you're going to come up, and then you're going to go push, pull, down. See that? Great. no problem. But when you add weight, everything changes. So here I go. Ready? You ready, ready? What are you going to do first? Drop your shoulders, open your hip, tighten your tummy. My wrist is not going to curl. I'm going to lift and lift. And my elbow is soft. And I am not going to, if it's too much, then I'm going to drop my weight. And I'm going to just do the move until I can do it 30 times repeatedly, like for a week or 2 or 3. See, do the move with no weight. If it's in fact giving you a problem, or lighten up the weight, take a breath, drop your shoulder, take a breath, drop your shoulder, take a breath, drop, breath, drop, breath, drop. Yeah, hang on now, review. Keep your shoulders down. Don't curl your wrist. Say rib cage up. Breath. Hang with me. Breath. Don't curl at your wrist. Breath. And just 2 more. Hang on. 1 more. Nice. Put those weights right there. Now we're going to do one more time to stretch the pectorals and the shoulder where it might be tight. And we're going to use our weights to do this. See here? See? I'm right here and I'm going to open those elbows right to there. See that? Bring it in. Open. Bring it in. Open. Bring it in. Open. Now hold right there. Just hang out there. Take a big deep breath. Put one leg down, straight. Bend it. One leg down, straight. Hold on. Get your elbows out there. Bring it in. Put it down. Okay? So our last move is a stretch move. So I'm going to put my weights down. I'm going to grab my chair. And I'm going to hang on to my chair. And I'm going to bring my butt up. And then I'm going to drop my head until I can get these backs of the legs straight and touching the chair. Let your head just go. You're only going to hold it down here for a few seconds, but you're going to hang on to your chair. Push your legs straight. Pull your toes up. Then bend your knees. Get your bearings. And come up. Take a big breath. Big breath. Yay. So I'm telling everybody we won't be live this Wednesday. Okay.